Welcome to another Drupal quick tutorial video. For this video, what we want is to have a Drupal web form. This is the Drupal web form that when someone submits from the web form, it will email, number one, it will email that message to the intended recipient, or probably the owner of the website, who will get that message, who will get that email coming from the web form submission. And number two, at the same time, it will also send a confirmation message to the one who filled up the form, a copy of his submission, of his or her submission in the form. Confirmation that this this is the submission that he has sent from the web form. All right. So first thing, of course, you have to set up web form. So we will not show it here. This will assume that you already know how to set up web form. So right now, to set that up, those are called web form handlers. All right. So in web form, so this is, by the way, Drupal 9. This is an older version of Drupal, but basically what we will show you and teach you here will also work for Drupal 10 and Drupal 11. So first you have to install Webform, and probably it will help if you have Webform examples here. Install the Webform examples. Can we check for examples? Okay, Webform example. Okay, so probably if you're still learning Webform, it might be good to, enable all of the examples that are provided by out of the box by web form. Okay. And install and enable. This comes together with web form module. So once you install web form, these sub modules of web forms becomes available, and you simply need to enable this. All right. So going back, well, that's while we're doing that, going back to my example. Okay. By the way, if you did the web form examples, you'd probably find that under your forms, web form forms, under structure, web form forms, you probably find all those examples here. Okay. So that's something for you to, to be able to check out how these certain web form elements or widgets work. So in our case, probably you'd want a handler right here. So this is what we will be doing today. We will, the actions that will be triggered by the submission, sending of two emails, one email going to the submission, to the intended recipient, or probably the website owner or the administrator of the website. And number two, an email that will be sent to the sender, a copy of of his submission. So going to the web form handler, this is the example of a web form handler. Okay, that is found from, again, that is found from structure, web form, and you click forms, and then you will find an example of a web form handler. So if you click that, it will show you an example of a form, but if you click on the settings and click on email handlers, you will now get an example of a handler. Just check it out later on. But what we will do now is to actually create our own web form. Okay, go to your form, and first things first, you need to click on your form settings. So that should also be the same as going to your forms here and going to the settings of that form. And from the settings of that form, probably you'll see emails handlers. Click on that. And in our case, there's no action yet. There are no triggers here. Uh, web form submissions from this form are not sending anything yet. Okay, so that's what we will do. Add a handler, and second is choose action. Okay, so first you need to label your action first. So probably send email to email confirmation. Okay, email notification to admins. You may label it any way you want, like email submission to admin. In this case, this is an email that will be sent to the owner of the form, or probably the website owner. Okay. Sends email submission. No. Sends form submission. Emails. Emails form submission to administrators. All right. Okay. When submission is completed, the trigger there are a lot of things that you can set as trigger depending on what you need. But in our case, just when someone completes a submission, meaning when someone completes all this and sends and click submits, that is the submission completion. And um, probably first, just save it first. No, yeah, I think you need to save it first before you can do anything first. Submit. Okay, and then just go back, edit that handler. So you now have a handler there. And check on conditions if there are things that you need to do. Okay, but those are okay. Uh, Probably let's put some generic message here. Let's see where that goes. Oops. And at the bottom, it will get all the different field values that will be filled up here, and just save that. I think I did it wrong. I think I did it wrong. We do not need to create handler, but instead we need to add an email. So let's just delete that. I'm sorry about that. So instead of handler, I'm sorry, add email because that's the action. Okay. The difference between add email and add handler. Add email is what we want because from add email, uh, it it provides all these necessary things like, okay, once a submission is made, where will the message be sent to? Where will it be emailed? So without putting anything, if you say site email, that will use the generic site email that you have entered under config system basic site settings. So basically that's the system email. So if that is the same email that you want to have it sent to, you probably want it there. But in our case, client wants it to be sent to their email. So that will be, kindly hold. It needs to be sent to a custom email. So select custom email and it needs to be sent here. All right. So just in case a client wants to have that CC'd to anyone else. So in my case, I just put a BCC instead, and put my email so that I can test it out. If someone sends an email, submits an email, I can see that I am also receiving it. Yeah, but just BCC for testing. Later on, I will remove myself here. All right. And send from. remember your emails. Whenever you receive something from your inbox, you can see where it's coming from. So in this case, this is sending an email from the website to yourself, right? Being the owner of the website. So probably we'll just say, this came from from the website, probably the system email website. And but in this case, let's just put you know, the client's email. So it's coming from the client's email, sending a message to itself. All right. And from name, uh, if you put site name, this is an automated setting. It will get the value from the site name that also you have put in under system basic settings. And it will appear from your inbox as this email coming from the name, from this sender name, coming from the email, this one. So that should be good. But in my case, probably let's put something else like form submission from, something that's useful already so that the client will know that this is submission coming from contact form. Of what? Okay, let's just put something here. Okay, so that, you know, the client will immediately see what this is. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that should go to the body field, right? To the subject line, right? That should go to the subject line. Where is the subject line? From, so let's just say this comes from the owner. There's no subject line. There should be one, right? Here. Here is the subject line. So you put it here. Okay. Out of the box, you can also use this web form submission from, and it will say what's the name of the contact form. And maybe let's use this. Then let me just get it back here to from the site name. Okay, so it's coming from ITLet, coming from the site name. All right, so basically that's it. And then at the bottom, you'll probably want to customize this. Uh, so you will the owner of the website will see that someone has submitted on a particular date, coming from an anonymous user. But just in case this is a website that requires registration, the username or the user field will appear here, the user of the one who submitted. And the submitted values are in an array. This will immediately list down or break down all of the contents from the name, telephone, email, whatever selection from the list, and any message. Those will be appear under the web form submission values. All right. And those are just in case you might want to, exclude any of those fields from the email, you can check it here. All right. But in this case, I would want everything. But just in case someone has not entered anything and you do not want that appearing in the email, just exclude the empty elements. Okay. All right. And then save that. Oh, a CC field is required because I do this. So I'll just put none. Maybe I'll put in the client's Gmail, just to be sure. Kindly hold. Let me check something. All right. And save that. Okay, so now you can see there's a summary here, the settings or values you have entered. So once a submission is made, it will send an email to the administrators. So whoever are the administrators, you indicate it here. So it will send to this email and a CC copy and BCC to myself. And from the site name, ITLET, etc., etc., and coming from this email. And what's the subject? Web form submission from the source title. It will get the title of that form. So in this case, that is this contact form training sessions. So, and settings, HTML, and then complete. And then let's save the handlers. All right. Okay. So how about if we want to this time, how about if we want to this time send an email to the user, sort of a confirmation email. So just add an email. This time, what we want, email notification to user. Send email of the web form submission to the user or to the one who submitted the email, who filled up the email. This time, the email you should now get the value of the email address that came here. All right. So this time it will be the user's email. So therefore, in your contact form, there is what we call the web form elements, right? So you should be getting the values that will be entered by the user here. So that is the email field or email element. So in this case, send that email to the email value. All right. And then probably, just so that we can test that indeed it's going to that, uh, it's sending successfully. Probably let's put here a CC of the client's email, which is again, what was it? Later on. In this case, let me just put in my email so that I will know that it's working. So that I will know that I'm receiving this, so therefore the user is also receiving that image. And then coming from, okay, so that the user will immediately see that this is an email coming from the website here. And from the site name, this time we need to put in the client's email we want because uh, we want the user to see that it's coming from the client or from the website. And also, therefore, if the user will receive that email, the same confirmation email, and he wants to reply immediately or send a follow-up message to the client, to the website owner, and probably you want to say that when the user would click from his or her email message or inbox, reply to all or reply to, it will send automatically. It will compose immediately an email reply to whoever you will send it. You will put it there. And this is just, uh, you know, web form submission coming from ITLET so that the user will see that these are the submissions that he has provided. Okay, and so on and so forth. Same settings. It will provide everything. So there you go. So basically, in theory, that should work now. But let us see because sometimes there are other settings that needs to be done, like SMTP, mail settings. Is your server really really supporting email sending coming from the website? We'll have to see. Okay, so let's test it now. Okay. So I'll put in test handlers. And one, two, three, anything, and let me see if it will go into my personal email, one of my personal email. And just choose anything here. Kindly ignore because at this point the client will really receive this. This is a test from the contact form submission. Just answer a CAPTCHA, then click submit. So there will be no errors. The website and the server is supporting everything. Okay, new submission added to the contact form. All right. So probably you would want to also customize this message whenever someone submits. So let me see my. Oh, there you go. So from my email, so I have seen that it has sent an email, but for some reason, I have to fix this. So that's another troubleshooting that we want, but normally it will look something like, why am I getting this? This is probably because some of the setting coming from, I need to fix it. It will look something like this here. Any custom message that you might want to put up here, that would be here. Any custom message that you want here. Okay, so probably you would say you would want to customize the body. Oops. Oh, you need to copy that, customize, put it in the source code, and probably you might want to put something, a message like thank you in bold. Thank you for your submission. Something like that. So that you can, something like this. All right. So basically that's how you put it in configure web form sending emails both to the submitter and to the owner of the form. So I hope this helps. For that particular issue here, this is because of, a couple of things. Maybe I need to set up my HTML and MIME settings or SMTP or probably something else. It may be related to some debugging still turned on that I need to turn off. All right. So basically that should work similar to here. All right. So I hope this helps. Any questions, just let me know. We'll put in our email at the description and, our link to the website. Okay. Bye.